Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Barek Knuckle's Most Wanted podcast. I'm Matthew Kohler, here with my partner and co-host, Matt Seibel, and our guest for today, Stanley Hofstaeder. So thank you for coming on, sir. And you know, this is kind of a special episode. It's off schedule for us, but we think that we honored your former business partner, Andy Bakewell. We had him on yesterday and telling his side of the story of what happened with the whole situation with Ragnarok over the weekend and the events leading up to it. And so we brought Stanley on because, again, we got to be fair and hear both sides of the story. So, Stanley, I'm going to at this point thank you for coming on and making some time for us. And I'm going to turn it over to you and just let you take it away and tell your story.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. It's been a rough couple of days, of course. So I had to step away from the light a little bit just to take care of the family. And when there's death threats and threats of rape and all that things coming, you gotta take care of family first. So I just want to start with, first of all, I want us to pay the fighters that put their hard training in and the training camps and everything. I want to pay the fighters. Being a 50-50 company, I also hope that Andrew will take his part and pay it. Like his part, which we all know, and that you know also heard, because there can be a lot of shit telling here, but everybody knows that he is the matchmaker and he's the 50% partner. So he takes care of the fighters. I took care of the idea. I do the bookings, I do the flights. And as we all know, all the fighters got up there because they were pretty angry when they were up there. So yeah. So sorry for looking down here. I've just taken some notes so I don't forget things, because it's a little stressful moment. So Ragnarok was my project. It was my love. It was going to be my legacy. I brought Andrew in on it as a partner to do the fighting part, because he is obviously the good guy to get fighters. He knows everybody around the world, so he was a terrific matchmaker. So and he had all the details about the fighters, and I gave him 50% of the company to do that. So, and I trusted him like a brother, and there was nothing. It was going to be his legacy too. That's why we had our sons' names on the belts, both of us. So So, but alone, I've been funding everything in Ragnarok. I was told by Andrew to make a list over what I used on the Ragnarok, so he could pay me back after the first fight, and that's okay. I put down over a year of my life in this, and I've been working 24/7. I'm putting in a lot of money, so it was probably my biggest wish that was going to go on. So everything like social media, clothes, everything that's been, you see Ragnarok's name in it, I've been putting up. So I should maybe have been a little bit more demanding. Maybe he paid half, but okay, we had this agreement that I would pay him. He would pay me back after we got the first show through. So I really believed in the concept. I think the concept is amazing, and I knew many others did as well. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say. We can just sit here, me and Andrew, and say it was his fault and his fault, but it's more better to look at it, because it's in the fair. It's been me getting the blame for everything, and it's a 50-50 company. And him saying that he didn't. I have only seen one episode. That's your episode, just before we got here. about Andrews and him saying that he didn't have any clue what's going on. That I don't think anybody would have had that kind of relationship in the firm. Of course, he knew what was going on, and it's true. Yeah, the money ran out in the end, but not because of the reason that he said. This was a 50% partnership, as I told you. He was the matchmaker, remember? So his responsibility was flights. My responsibility was flights, accommodation, and all the things I said, and the venue, of course. So it's we were separating those two things, and what he was good at and what I was good at. He always said that, and I always said that you can do the shit that I can't do, and I can do the shit that you can't do. So that was an excellent partnership.
Me and Matt had that similar partnership.
Yeah, and it works best that way. All the fighters who were supposed to be flown up here, we got them up here. Of course, we had a lot of problems with this COVID, everything being canceled. We lost all our hotel rooms because of change of management in the venue. So we had to get new hotel rooms. We couldn't pick them up where we wanted to have them. So it got a little delayed, but it got there. When I found out that there was no money left coming from and nothing coming from Andrew, I asked him if he wanted me to borrow the rest to pay it, and he said yes about that. So that's the whole week while we was here. He was just in bed or he was drunk. So I worked the last 4 days straight. I maybe got an hour here, an hour there. It was pretty hard run. And because I loved it, I believed in the project so big that I was willing to do anything. Even the things that getting the Swedes from Sweden while they were running for a fence, or we had to pick them up. I did that. I was there, and I got arrested as well because right before we got there, the Swedes got arrested, and we spent all the night in customs.
Oh wow!
So, going back then to the weigh-in, which were pretty, it was a 13-hour drive, so it was kind of hard to get getting sleep before that. So I wasn't really myself when we got to the weigh-in, and then from the weigh-in on Friday, it just went downhill. Like I said, I had to do his job, get the fighters from Sweden. It ended badly. So when I came back and ready for the weigh-in, we just got an hour. I think we were in here before this time. Yeah, and then we went into the lines. Then I think you call it, because Andrew had told like Shane Rich that I had run away with all the money. But as I told everybody that was there, I'm at least here. I didn't know he had run away. He was already on a train. So he just waited till the last day, and then he just eloped from his hotel bill, from everything. She just left everything in my hands, and that was not really my part to talk to the fighters. But okay, I tried. It was shit. And that he told them that I have ran away with all the money. That of course pissed some fighters off. And but then it was too late even to try to turn them around. So I asked everybody all the fighters to go with me up to the office. Let's find a solution to it. And even though we have in our contracts, nobody's getting paid before after the fights, I want to pay the fighters, but I didn't know what to cover for and didn't know what to not cover for. I just tried to make it good. So that ended up tragically in my office. Half of the fighters walked out. Some of them demanded money for driving down here, and I gave them the money I had in the office, and they stole my belts. The world champion belt and the European belts were all taken by them. So it's with our son's name on it. But I really don't want to sit here and make people wonder what happened or who is blamed to blame for what. But this is a 50% company for each part, and I really want to pay the fighters. I just want Andrew to pull his part as well. So I don't think that's any other than fair. I'm left here with a $20,000 bill on the venue that I got to pay. Luckily, all the money was secured at something called Bilettos, it's a ticket service. So all the people that came to the show, they get their money back. If not, I'm afraid that things are going to would have been very much better. But again, I was here. I was trying to make it right, and I really want to set the right record straight with the fighters. And yeah, so I hope he will pull his part. I even have to pay for his travel coming up here. So, and he left me with an unpaid hotel room and went back to England. So, yeah, we I hope that he will step up to that. Yeah. So yeah.
Is that pretty much your story, or?
Yeah. If you have a question about it,
So, I mean,
yeah.
we really didn't press him on this issue either, but how was the event and everything being funded?
How it was funded?
Because it was from what I'm understanding, it was all through sponsors and things. Was there?
Yeah, we had we had sponsor money. That of course was being used to pay for the venue. Half of the venue was paid, and then it was also used to fly people up here, the fighters, which was my responsibility. The other money was money that we had to bring in ourselves, because he said he had some money coming from some Feldman payment, something while he was up here, but it didn't come. That's why I asked him if he wanted me to lend money to pay the fighters.
Okay, so your side of it is that you were relying on this Feldman money to actually pay the fighters. That was the game plan all along.
Yeah, that was what Andrew said. So I don't know what else is.
Well, I'm not saying that you said it, but that's what Andrew.
Yeah.
That was his plan. To pay the fighters was using.
And so, hold up. Sorry, I just have to ask this. So when we say Feldman money, obviously we're talking about David Feldman from the BKFC. So Andrew said that David Feldman was going to make a payment for him, and what was that supposed to be for?
I don't know. He just said he waited some money coming in this week. That's why I have to pay for his flight as well. So
I see. What do you think that he was referring to, a payment that he was supposed to receive for the event coming up this next weekend?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I just want to clarify, because I don't want there to be, that to be misconstrued. I don't want, if David,
I understand what you're saying.
If David Feldman was not involved in this, I don't want people to have the
No. I'm not saying that. No.
Yeah, but I just want to clarify that.
Good clarification. That's not what I was saying either.
It goes both ways. If he was involved, I'd want to know, and everybody would want to know. But if he wasn't, I don't want to start a false rumor.
Yeah, all I was suggesting was.
But Andrew is working together with Feldman now on this Total Line project that's coming up this weekend. So something from there. I don't know. I just had his word for it. So that was all. Gotcha.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I can see how that could have been misconstrued very badly.
Yeah. Sorry, but it's been a lot. So sorry.
Right. Okay. Right. So, do you want to continue, or do you want us to go ahead and can we ask questions?
No, because I think I can sit and say my part and say this and this about Andrew, but it's not that it won't help the people. I just want to pay the fighters, and I want us to, as it's a 50-50 company, I just want us to make it right. So
yeah. Okay. So a couple of questions I have. I know that you said there's a $20,000 bill on the venue, and that's an outstanding bill on the venue.
Yeah.
So have any of the fighters been paid at all?
Shannon was paid a little bit of money, but he hasn't been paid all the money he's going to get. They also jumped the ship on Friday, So I was a little bit in doubt what to do there, because as I said, we have in our contract that nobody's getting paid before they fight. But I understand. I flew them up there. I had to take responsibility while I was there. But I really think that if Andrew hadn't jumped the ship and just ran away, it wouldn't have been a problem. We would have fixed it somehow. I think also the fighters would have been reasonable. So we could have paid them from the money from the venue, in case.
Sure.
So when did the event get canceled? Was it because of poor planning on the event, or was it because the fighters felt they were not being paid, so they just quit?
Yeah. Thank you for asking the question. On Friday, of course, half of the fighters jumped board, and half of the fighters, around half the fighters stuck left. I think it was not fair and everything, and they would do the show. So the show was set to go off on Saturday, already on Friday, of course, and we had to use the guys that we had there, and so that's why we canceled also the pay-per-view, because it would have been alive to people to tell them that Shannon Rich was on it. So we canceled the pay-per-view and thought that, okay, just run the show, I thought. Get through it, and then I can pay some money to the fighters, and I can pay some money, get some money out of it, so I can pay the venue.
Yeah.
But of course, that being canceled as well, then I lost that money as well.
Yeah. So at what point? So it was on Friday that a lot of the fighters started to leave. Actually the day before the fights. So can you tell us why you think in your mind why the fighters were leaving? Why were they panicking? Was there
No, Shan Rich told me that he had got the message from Andrew saying that I had run away with all the money. That was the exact word he said.
I was going to say a lot of some venues will pay the fighters prior to the fights, some pay after. What was your agreement with your fighters? Were you supposed to pay them after or before the fight?
The contract says after the fight.
Okay.
So, but that again, I really feel bad for the fighters. I really want to pay them. So I just need Andrew to step up and take half the bill.
So what's his half? What does he owe in your mind?
He was supposed to do the fighters, but we'll find a way. I just want him to pay half of the at least the fighters purse. I can pay the rest of it.
Gotcha. So the Facebook announcement on the Ragnarok social media page said that the event was canceled due to COVID. I obviously
I didn't have anything to do with that.
Okay. So who's controlling that at this point?
The Ragnarok site?
Yeah.
I've taken control of the Ragnarok site. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. So, man, this is it's a shame. The whole thing is a shame.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are things that happened that most of us will never know about. And there's always, like I said, there's always two sides to every story. So we heard Andy's part, we heard your part, and I don't think that everything that you guys are saying is too dissimilar. Some of it is, but some of it's not. But one question.
There's always that in every story.
Yeah. But one question that I have for you is, at what point did you realize that okay, this is not going to happen? Like I've put a year of this into my life, and now it's.
I never thought I had that thought at all. I had so much love and passion for the project, and I wanted really to prove the fighters that it was going to go on. So maybe I got a little bit we call it blindfolded by the love I had for the project. It was going to be my legacy, and also Andrew's. So I didn't realize that before a minute before it got canceled.
So okay. I've got a couple of more questions, if you don't mind. So if you could do anything differently throughout this whole process, what would you change about the way things went down, or the things that you could control? What would you change?
I would probably cancel to the moment I saw the fighters leaving, but I was even willing to borrow money to pay them, just to get the show go on. Of course, there were some the issues were the money, of course, and the issue was also that some of them didn't believe that we could do this legally in Norway, and that's the reason why you can do like I can come into that later with the legalization and everything, but that was the two reasons. So I would have do it again. I would wait till it's legalized 100%. That's just minor detail, and it's going to be legalized, I think, if they're going to look past this trouble that happened here at the venue. And I would get more people in to help me out, because I spent the last 4 days just running from place to place trying to hold things together, and I would need some help, of course.
Yeah. So obviously, this was something that you were extremely passionate about, down to the very end, right? Do you feel like you got caught up in your passion and your excitement? That did that lead to any bad decisions, or would you change anything about anything that as far as any decisions that you made, or just poor judgment? Anything like that? Because I'm responding specifically to some of these folks in the chat that are making all kinds of accusations about investors and being dishonest and things like that. So can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, we had sponsors, but I had to use money to pay the flights, which was my responsibility. The flights, the accommodation, and also the venue. That was I was taking care of most of the things, or all of the things in the end. The other part was basically on Andrew, but it's not. I'm not going to sit here and deliver guilt. But of course, it's a 50-50 company. You don't just come up here and collect money and go home. That's not just what you do. You that's as Tony was asking about salary. Yeah, I will pay his salary, but I want Andrew to be on it, and pay half. That's not too much to beg for. Yeah.
Sure. Would you be willing to pay your half of the salary regardless of what Andy does?
Yeah. No problem.
Okay. And that's, if it is a 50-50 company, I think that's it's none of my business, I guess, but that sounds reasonable to me. But and if so, how would you go about doing that?
They can all send me their PayPal details, and I can start getting cash over to them.
Okay.
But I need also Andrew to step up, because this is a Viking promotion company, limited, So it's we have 50%. I even let my company, the things that I wrote or founded, go to England just to make him safe, and he just left without even telling me.
Gotcha. Well, the fighters, if you're listening to that, Stanley is saying that send him your PayPal information, and he'll make it right on his half. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm really sorry that it got canceled. I'm really sorry that this ever happened. But of course, as you know, it's a passionate project for me. It was going to be my legacy. I spent a whole year in here, just set up this office up here, and I really believed that I had a partner that would help me pull the weight. But yeah.
So, did you file all the paperwork to make everything legal as far as the bare knuckle aspect of the event? Was that all completed and ready to go by the time the event was supposed to go on?
Yeah, the thing here in Norway, thank you for asking that, by the way. The thing here in Norway is that you can, if there was, we have had a lot of trouble with the called athletics department. You have to call that, yeah. And it was like a waiting process. It was like, we have sent it in, but if it wouldn't get, if they would postpone it for somehow, we can always run the event as a marked event. That will say, if we had an extra rule set up, which didn't include the knockout, it wouldn't affect that in particular anybody. It just means that you don't have it in the rule set, you can't get up by the law. So it was going to go on either way, but that's also a story. I tried to show the legal documents from the lawyer's office doing the research. It's it was not good, easy to show them, or they to believe me. Maybe I was a little bit tired because I was running around for 3 days, so it was, but didn't get through. So yeah, it has been filed, and I'm hoping that it will be filed back to us as soon as possible, and it will be legal, I think.
Gotcha. So do you have plans to continue the project down the road at some point? Is this something, are you just gonna step away, or what happens with Ragnarok at this point going forward?
I don't know, really, man. It's still a passionate thing. I hope it's the project, I think, and the team is a brilliant thing, I think. So if it was supposed to be something with Ragnarok, it would be probably somebody else running it, but I'll be maybe in a smaller part, I think. Yeah.
Gotcha. So
we've also heard, I mean, even like in the chats here, we got Tony who's asking, or Stu asking about allegations of blackmail. Was there any blackmail that happened, or there's been a lot of allegations?
Yeah, I know.
You were supposed to have gotten beat up. I
heard that too. I heard that you got beat up.
Yeah, it was more like a fight, I think. But yeah, it's I got 5 minutes before I was going to walk in with the thing, because we had to change the ring 3 times. It was panic and shit, and I was just walking in 5 minutes before they were going to cancel with the things, and then I got in a fight with 2 Germans and an Italian, and in the room before I get into the venue. It's like a middle room, And they, of course, they wanted money. Some guys had been stopped in customs and couldn't participate because of middle landing in Amsterdam, I think. So they were angry as shit. And then when I got out of that fight and got into the venue, I didn't see that I had a cut on my here it is, there on the right side. So it's well, I don't think I got beat up, but I got a punch in there. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Another allegation from Tony: steroids and drugs in the office.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't even know what kind of things those are, but if I'm not shouting that it's what do you call it, sabotage, but I'm saying that a lot of things happened in the moment before. I don't see why the people didn't want it to go on, because of course the fighters had some security there and their money as well. So yeah, I have no comment to that allegation. Sorry.
Gotcha.
I haven't seen it before though.
Gotcha. There's another comment that says that lied about investors. You're in the newspaper talking about 100 million and didn't have any money.
Oh no, it's not. We didn't have 100 million invested. It was what we could have made the next year on pay-per-view. That was said in the newspapers. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because I really think the project is a good project. I think it's just need the right people to run it. As you know, this was my first event. I have never done it before, so I was kind of counting on help from Andrew. So yeah.
Yep.
But I'm here. I was here talking to fighters, meeting them. I was stuck with the bill and everything, and we tried worked my ass off to get this running. So
yep, and put Cody's comment up there. I want to honor Cody. He's a friend of the show and a partner of mine on another show. So Cody Travis has a comment. He says,
well, okay, go ahead. He said, I can't get to it yet.
Okay, that's fine. He said, did your partner run, Andrew, when he heard about issues heard no money or issues with money? And his question is, do you think that he was coached by David Feldman? My question, just to add to that a little bit, was he coached by anybody? Do you think that he had ulterior motives, or did he just kind of, what's your opinion on that? Did he was there shadiness going on his end, or was he just kind of just lost hope and was just like, screw it, I'm out?
Do you think he would have, if he had 50% in the company, do you think he would have let that thing go so easy? He would have had inside as hell. So he didn't run before so like I told you the day before, I asked him, do you need me to borrow the money that you can get? And he said yes. So the bad thing is that it would have gotten through and I would have had money to pay them. So it's very sad that the event didn't happen. So
do you think that he was coached by anybody, or was there anybody else involved trying to sabotage the whole thing?
I have no comment on that. I just saw that Sharon Rich signed the contract with Feldman as well.
Yeah. And again,
so
I'm
not
suggesting anything. I'm just asking in your opinion.
I don't think so. I don't know.
So I see at least Tony says, yeah, you pay him his 50% and he'll get his other from Andrew. So
I'll contact Tony afterwards. Yeah.
So Stu is asking about, and I did see that post as well. Shannon and even when last week when you were on our show, we talked a little bit about the post, putting out a post to say not to buy the pay-per-view, and that you would post another link. Can you talk a little bit about what happened there?
That we had two girls, two Polish girls that has been working with us. They've been amazing in their work, but because of the last week, we found some failures in the contract that were set up with this firm. It's a streaming company from Norway. And when we tried to get an explanation, I think because most of it because of loss of translation, because of really bad English, we got a little scared. Me and Andrew, guided by another guy, a lawyer, told us to step away from the project because it could be too dangerous. Suddenly the streams were going through Poland and not through Norway, as we were told in the contract. But it was more like a lack of, I was told afterwards by the leadership in Norway that there was a lack of information that they were sorry about, and it was to go on again. So that was 2-3 days before the event was going to be streamed. So it was unfortunate as hell. So we had a lot of things not right.
Gotcha. So, I think that's unless you have anything else that you think is important for people to know. I really don't have too many more questions at this point. Um,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah. Sorry.
obviously there are a lot of people who are super upset, and a lot of people feel like they were wronged, and that there was some wrongdoing that went on.
Yeah.
You know, what do you know? And I know that you've apologized, but what do you want to say to all those people out there that were affected by this whole thing? You know,
No, I'm really sorry about the fighters. That's the first thing I'm really sorry about. I don't know what more to say than that, but it's I have responsibility to fix this, and I think that my partner as well has something. So yeah, I will contact the fighters and hope they will accept my contact, and I will pay the fighters the half of the money. Even though we had a contract saying different, I just wanted to be to finish it and do my part.
Gotcha. Well, I know that this. I appreciate you coming on. I know that this is a difficult time, and this is probably a difficult conversation to have. Even, you know, but I appreciate your willingness to be on here and give your side of the story. And for our audience members, you know, listen, the man came on. He gave a side of the story. You may not agree with him. And that's okay, but that's the whole point of bringing him on. We brought Andy on, and now we have Stanley on, and you've heard both sides. Any of the fighters that are out there, more than happy to reach out to us. I mean, we can hear your side too. It's we have an open format here, and we want to let everybody's voice be heard in the situation. And I think that that's only fair. Would you agree, Stanley?
Yeah, I think so. I can't do anything more about it. Then I'm here. I'm talking to the fighters, and I really wanted to be fixed. And I'm really sorry. It was that project that I didn't burn off because it was a project that I was passionate for. I don't know about Andrew, but he walks on to the next project. So yeah.
Right. Well,
maybe Cody has the right idea, and it should all be handled in a bare knuckle fight in the ring.
Yeah, for one reason, we had the medical team, everything was set. So somebody asking about that, we had doctors at the place and everything. So yeah, but it's a discussion about that doesn't even have any meaning right now. It's just that I want to set it right with the fighters. So yeah.
We are going to be having Shannon the Cannon on to do his side of the story and when he gets back to the States.
Yeah.
So, you know, if after all that you want to come back on, we don't mind, you know, letting this all play out on our show. So
yeah, and I didn't fly people up here just to let them down. So I just want to make this right.
All right.
You guys heard it. He's going to try to make it right. If you're a fighter that was involved in this project, reach out to Stanley. He's going to pay you half of the money that you were supposed to be paid. And you heard it here on our show. So there you go. And again, Stanley, thank you for coming on. Thank you for giving your story. And you know, I hope for the best. All I can say is I hope for the best resolution to this situation for everybody. You know, that's all I can hope for. So
thank you guys for having me on again.
You bet.
No problem, man. I was really hoping everything would roll smooth for you, but life happens.
Shit happens. So yeah, it does. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Right. Thanks, Stanley. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Well, there you go, guys. We had the man on. He told his story. We asked the questions. There are so many stinking questions in the comment. I'm sorry we couldn't get to all of them. You know, and part of it too, like it's I mean, there's some wild allegations, like
there's some crazy
on both sides. This story is like, I mean, you know, stuff like this, I think about it and I'm like, man, this could be a movie. You know, it really could. And hopefully it's a story of triumph for some of the fighters who are part of a movie or something. Like there's a story here. And the way that it's playing out, hopefully it's a story of a comeback story for a lot of the fighters who were disappointed by the happenings of this. So I think it's a shame that it happened. I
want to thank everybody for watching us.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
You know, I think we got a lot of new listeners. So if you can go over to our Facebook page at facebook.com/Bare Knuckles Most Wanted and like us so you can get all notifications when we go live. We're also on YouTube. We have 2 channels on there. It's a Fight Mixer on there. So
yep, Fight Mixer on YouTube. Go check us out there, and Bare Knuckles Most Wanted also. Also, I want to, if I could real quick, just shout out to our sponsors. So Drinker Nutrition for all of your proteins, your pre-workouts, your recoveries, all those really good products that you need if you are a fighter, or if you're an athlete, or if you're just looking to get in shape and you want some quality products that taste good. I mean, they taste good. So go check those out, used by a bunch of professional athletes. Also, Dope Champ. If you're looking for your Delta 8 needs, you got the Delta 8 gummies, you've got vapes, you've got tincture. So all kinds of good, and flour as well. So
yep.
And check it out. And what else?
Anybody needs management. We are now managing fighters. We have 8. There's a few more, I think, coming on.
Yep.
And so
we are running
a new force to be reckoned with.
We are a fighter management company, Fight Mixer Management, with Team Bare Knuckles Most Wanted. So we represent currently 8 bare knuckle fighters, and some of those do some boxing and MMA as well. But we really focus on bare knuckle.
Several of the world class.
So some of those include people like Christine Misfit Faria, the #1 women's 125-pound bare knuckle fighter in the world, and of course you have heavyweight contender. Sam the Hillbilly Hammer Shoemaker is also on our roster, and you have guys like Felony Charles Bennett and several other really top, really great fighters. And one
just won a world championship.
That's right. Raymond Guzman just won a title down in Texas. So that's pretty awesome. So congratulations, Raymond. If you're watching, man, awesome. Love to be on the winning team. So check us out. All those things, and like, subscribe, and thanks again for joining in. You guys are the best.